back when Blue Dragon was on the air. Okay, now I know this isn't a common subject, but back when commercials about action figures, the soups and video games still existed, this anime that got transferred over to English, Blue Dragon, that was based off the game off of Xbox, may be a distant memory. I mean, I remember literally some shit. We're in the same area and you fucking girl in the same location. What happened was, it was notorious for having a bad rating after Dragon Ball Z came out, but the point is that anybody would watch the theme song, anybody would click on Cartoon Network and click on the next thing like Robot Boy. That's including Bakugan. Okay, so anyway, the theme song first came on, literally on Cartoon Network. I knew the show was shitty, but I pretended that it was good. I heard the voice of God in my head saying, "You like this song? This rock? This is gonna be the journey of the millennium." And guess what ended up happening after the shitty show literally went on Cartoon Network? We listened to the horrible English dub, literally, versus the actual Japanese version, where we knew the artwork designer Akira Toriyama, literally, the same guy that did Dragon Ball Z, didn't make the show, but had something to do with the artwork behind Chrono Trigger. And what happened was the knockoff Trunks, literally, the only reason why you watched the show, literally, was being dragged on. And, I liked it, literally, because he reminded me of a Zelda character. That one girl with blue eyes who like Android 18 was really fucking, sick and viral. She was the strongest show, she was one of the reasons why I kept watching. But the whole point is that I had these little Blu-ray Muppets that my mom just got from Costco, literally, this is when I first, started to draw manga. And the problem with this is, there is an Indian, group from NASA that was spying, literally, on my mom. Because of everything connected to being Dragon Ball Z, but they don't recognize that everything connected to Dragon Ball Z is gay. That my mom was cheating, using a gangster strategy of some sorts. So how is he able, to get the money to pay for the Muppets? And that was one of the biggest lies that God told to me. Because what happened, brace yourself for what happened in this video. In the future, I end up working with the voice actor of Vegeta, Christopher R, to the Sabbath. And I don't like him because he's more crazy than an artistic kid. But in actuality, what happened was I went through a phase of drawing manga where I actually, took apart in, the Blue Dragon, in Japanese. Meaning that, I love, the theme song of the Blue Dragon anime way more than English dub. I knew why it was shitty. This is Cartoon Network's interpretation of it, and it was horrible, but it was watchable, why? Because I understand what anime is English dub. It's inspiring. The characters damn near look white to me. What happened was, the manga that I was working on, literally, was based off Avatar: The Last Airbender. Literally, it was full of shit. All I did was, draw a circle and then spike Lily for his hair and give him spiky hair. And what happened years beyond that was, literally, I ended up in a gang world where I treated, gang members like, cereal. And what happened, further on was that was, a war, that was particularly made over by manga, literally, But the whole point is that Blue Dragon is a straight, and, society is gay. So what happened when I got away with something straight, that didn't defer, but as incredibly gay as God's voice was at that time? What happened after, I went through a thug phase, after I done a whole bunch of bullshit, I went back to Blue Dragon, and, I'm not, talking about my heavy, deep relationship with the Japanese, theme song. I love Blue Dragon way more Japanese, and I feel like, the English version, did what the English version nobly did. It's just like, dubbing a Mario cartoon. But the point of this video is that it was gay. You have to have style, you have to have, something that slightly differs, in school or work or whatever, as a human being. And because we went against frequency for a whole bunch of years, what ended up, happening. Ever since I worked with a voice actor with Vegeta, the whole point of this is I gained, a ton of style. Literally, I fucked a lot of girls. Literally, I have a kid. What happened externally was, because, everybody, went back into work, literally, I kept the same shit, with GarageBand, I ended up watching Blue Dragon again. And it all has something to do with my manga and using my girls and sneaking them in as the characters. Mirage I got from watching, classic Toonami shows, so, Zatch Bell, literally, Bakugan, all I had to do, literally, with this replay of me watching Blue Dragon. I also had, a white partner, literally, lived right down the street from me that I used to tell him everything with. Just remember, if you recognize it, literally, the theme song in Blue Dragon Japanese is way better, but, I rapped, the straightforward rock saying that it was fucking horrible. But the main point of this is society became below this concept because society didn't want to become, a dick. They wanted to hold on to shit like Fanboy and Chum Chum and Kip all day. As far as new age anime like Hunter x Hunter goes, I'm like, bro, this is Mandela. That's just stop the autistic kid for thinking that he's not fucking all the girls in school. But the whole point is, after that Mirage, nothing changed. The main character, Shu, is really inspiring, but is really a punk-nosed kid. I went to a whole, trial and journey, literally, when teachers criticized me about the way I draw, literally, by the way I drew that Avatar: Last Airbender character, I went to a point where there's no revelation. Well, in order to be a physical society, you have to get away with lame shit. Therefore, even though I had the whole anime confirmed, beat T.I. in a battle, literally, I fell back on Blue Dragon.